Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard trial decks 1, 2, and 3 opening. These are the 3 newest trial decks for Cardfight Vanguard Overdress. This includes decks for Urara Hanayama, Michiru Hazama, and Raika Koshiba. All 3 new decks for Stoicheia, Dark States, and Keter Sanctuary. Some pretty awesome support are in these decks, which we'll also get more support with when Set 6 gets released. But I figured I'd do an opening showing what you get in each one of the new trial decks. The other decks we had originally for Overdress were start decks. These are the first official trial decks, so they're a little more pricier, but they come with a lot more in each deck as well. So like I said, we got 3 to open. Let's go ahead and start off with trial deck 1, which is Urara Hanayama, being the Stoicheia deck, being one of the new members of the Blackout team as well. So with each one of these new decks, you can use them either for the start deck themselves that you see in the packaging as a brand new deck to use. You can even use the packaging as a deck box, is what they kind of advertise with each one. So you have the actual deck here, you have the little holder, I would say, for it, just paper, and then we also have the rule book that shows you how to play the game, and you get the playmat that I believe are also color coded for the actual nation they are meant to represent. Yep, on the other side as the full on playmat, still a paper playmat, but still pretty cool. We have the promo pack for Urara Hanayama, being more of an expansion pack. I think they give like actual cards that don't have the demo text on them. And then we have the new Blitz Order, which is Elementaria Sanctitude, more of an answer sentinel for the decks with triple drive. Then we have these little markers as well, which just count as, if you can keep track of your triggers. So that's what you get with each trial deck. So for the first one, we have Bandmaster of Blossoming Bonds, Leonora. So this is our foil version. And then along with that, we have 3 additional copies of this card. This is what I meant by the demo card. It basically shows you how to play the game. So with this grade 2, you can ride this card from your ride deck onto a grade 1 by discarding a card from your hand. So just the explanatory version of the card, same with the grade 1, which is Budding of Pleasant Sounds, Gracia. And then our starter as well. I believe the actual versions will be in this expansion pack here. But as for some of the other cards we get along with those, we have Groovy Dragon, a backup grade 3. Looks like just a plus power grade 3 unit. We have Upbeat Dragon, an additional shield unit for the grade 2. 4 copies of that. Here is just a generic 10k intercept, just teaching you how to intercept. Also, I believe all of them have the intercept demo on it. Still usable cards, but like I said, they just have the trial deck explanation on them. We have Yield Elf for our first of the grade 1s, other than the ride deck. If your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, counter +2 and draw a card. So just draw support for the rear guard. Like I said, most of the cards from the trial decks are pretty simplistic, just so you know how to use them. This is just an 8k booster to show how to boost a unit. So we believe we have 4 copies of that as well. And we have Hopeful Maiden Alejandra for our Sentinel. It's just a generic Sentinel, but you still get 4 of them, I believe. Very nice. And then we have Knight of Pure Theodore. When this unit is discarded from hand during a ride phase, call it to rear. So just making up for the discard, teaching you how to make use of some of the different skills when you discard a card. For our trigger units, we have Melodia Pomera, being a critical. We have 4 copies of this. I'm sure we'll be getting some maybe in the festival collection of foil versions without the skill text as well. We have Symbol Hamster for the draw trigger. So how many copies of this do we have? 4 copies as well. For the front, we have Prominent Elf, which I believe 4 copies also. And then the heel trigger, which is Flowery Tone, 4 copies also. So the over trigger more than likely will be in the expansion pack, which we will open right now also. So I think it's 12 cards. We'll see if there are any foils in it also. So let's see. We have Lively Rhythm, Biara. So this is the grade 1. So I guess it does have a skill. You can see it there compared to the copied unit, just having boost on its card name. But with that, when attack, the boost hits a Vanguard, put a grade 2 or less from your hand and soul and draw a card. So just draw power. How many copies do they give us? 1, 2, 3. So these are the actual ones with the ability on them. We have Clapping Dragon, another, this one actually I don't think was in the trial deck, but another good backup one, I'd say, for the actual deck. So we have one copy of that, or maybe more. We have Spiritual King of Determination, Albaria. For the Overtrigger, just the generic Overtrigger. We have Fun Marching for the order we get. You play with a Soul Blast of 1. All of your grade 1 or less rear guards get plus 5,000. So it helps with the boost, which is the main point of your Vanguard. We have Brilliant Tune, Rectina for the grade 2 of the Ride deck. Budding of Pleasant Sounds, Gracia for the grade 1. And up nice, we have a foil starter announcing Wind of Spring, Corfi. I'm guessing there was a different spot in each one of these to potentially be the foil. That's why Lively Rhythm Biara is here as well. And another Clapping Dragon along with the Fun Marching. So pretty awesome. Plus you get the one foil copy of your main go-to grade 3 in the actual start deck. So with that, you get the Blitz Order and the Overtrigger, all to create the deck after you basically meant to have learned the rules for the actual game. For the second trial deck, we have Michiru Hazama, so Dark States and his main unit, which is Dragonic Jewel Dragon of 4 flames. A deck that focuses on Soul Blasting for a lot of its abilities. So just like with the Stoicheia deck, we have the actual deck, the paper folding that kept it in there, and we also have the additional promo pack and the Blitz Order along with the playmat, which probably has the actual unit himself on it, just like Stoicheia's. The markers, which are exactly the same also, and then just the rule book again. So on to the actual trial deck. We have Jewel Embracing Dragon, it's Jewel Embracing Dragon Fang Drajeweled. So pretty awesome, grade 3. There will be a new version, just as there will be for all of the units in these decks, but these can be added as backup because when this unit would be wrote upon is also regarded as a Demonic Jewel Dragon Drajeweled, which will be the main grade 3, which I believe we're set to get in set 7. And having more of a minus power to your opponent's Vanguard and additional pressure. So it just decreases your opponent's while increasing your own. So along with this copy, I believe we got 3 additional ones, just like the Stoicheia deck. So 4 copies of this. Here are the demo cards. So 1 copy of each for the Ride deck. Demonic Stone Dragon, Jewel Neil, 1 Jewel Core Dragon, and Julius Draco Kid for that starter. For our grade 3s, we have 4 copies of Truculence Raider. So that one's just a plus 10 for a counterblast and then putting into the soul, so building up some of the soul power there. The 10K grade 2 with the intercept skill. The Mystic Accordionist for the other grade 2, putting into the soul when you discard it. So another way to teach the discard for the Ride deck while gaining an additional skill. The grade 1, when this you boost to grade 2 rear guard, soul charge. Yeah, this deck is just meant to soul charge, so that's going to a lot of the Dark State setup for this trial deck will be. We have Dearful Doll, Kirsten for our next grade 1. We have 4 copies or 3 copies, and then another grade 1, which is the boost skill on it. 4 copies of that. And then we have our Sentinels, which is Psychic Prima Miranda. I believe this is actually a reprint. I believe the other one might have been a reprint also for Stoicheia, but we get 4 copies of this because we are getting a new Sentinel in set 6 for our triggers. The triggers are new though. So for our triggers, we have 4 copies of Connected Rampage Clen. Very awesome art on that one. Same with Insane Researcher. I believe there'd just be like the Stoicheia one. We got 4 copies of that. 4 copies of Wirepool Subjugator. Really feeling like they're the Pale Moon theme with these Dark State cards. And our last one is Caper Companion. So we got 4 copies of this heal trigger also. Very awesome. And then on now to the actual expansion pack. So we got 12 cards in this. So it may be just like the Stoicheia one. We'll see what we get for a foil. So first is our grade 1, one who calls upon Raging Thunder. We got, oh nope, this is a new card. So we have 3 copies of this. We have Ultrasound Siri for our next grade 2. And we have Friend of Netherworld Ling. So this is when placed on rear, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. And choose one among them, put into your soul for the rest on the bottom of the deck. And we have Spiritual King of Determination, Albaria. We have Demonic Stone Dragon So this was the grade 2 of the Ride deck. Here's the grade 1, Jewel Core Dragon. And we have the starter again, which is Julius Draco Kid. Not bad. I'm curious now, are all the ones? Well, I guess we'll see with the last one if we get the starter in that one also. But we have another One Who Calls Upon Raging Thunder, and another Ultrasound Siri, and Friend of the Netherworld Link. So no orders in this deck. This one just seemed to be solely focused on units. And the last one is Trial Deck 3, Raika Koshiba. Let's see. This is the one that has Revel Dress. It's basically like overdress for your Vanguard. And it'll be doing that with Youth Burke. So let's see what we get for this deck. So just like the other ones, we have the actual trial deck, the markers, the little paper placeholder, and then we have the Blitz Order, the expansion pack, and then the playmat and the rule book. So let's see what we get from this one. We have Youth Burke Protofall Arms. So this is the main go-to Youth Burke for the trial deck that has the actual Revel Dress ability, which lets you ride a unit with Revel form from your hand as stand, and it gets drive -2. So along with the foil copy, we have 3 additional copies there. Our grade 2 is Knight of Ardent Light Youth. So with this, having the Ride deck skill, same with the grade 1 and the grade 0 to learn how to play the game. We have our grade 3 version of Revel Form Zest for Youth Burke. This is the one you will ride on top of him for the Revel Dress skill. 4 copies there. And we have Internalized Mage. So with this, we have 4 copies. And then we have Knight of Parting Ways of the Interceptor. So we have 4 copies of this card. Stardiness Dragon. I believe it's 4 copies again. Nope, just 3. Shadow Bow Archer Lasana for the booster. So 4 copies there. And then for the Sentinel, we have Life Saving Angel Carabiel. 4 copies, just the generic Sentinel again. Grade 1, we have Witch of Revocation. 3 copies, or 4, nope, can never get it right. And then we have Volition Rigor Dragon for our first critical. 4 copies of this as well. And then we have Archmia for our draw. 4, yeah, it's going to be 4 of everything because the over trigger's in the expansion pack. Resolute Mage for the stand, but they're all new triggers, which is very cool. And then Recuperate Angel, very Angel Feather-like feel for this Keter Sanctuary unit. And then on to the expansion pack. Once again, we do get the Blitz Order, which is very nice to include with each trial deck. But let's see what we can get for the actual booster pack. So we have Knight of Parting Ways to start us off. A +10 when you're Revel Dress. 3 copies of this. We have Knight of Piercing, Kadwala. I believe we may get 2 copies of this, but we have Spiritual King of Determination, Olbaria. Skyfall Fury. Oh, nice. So our foil for this one is actually the grade 2. So Knight of Ardent Light Youth of the Ride deck. So it's not the starter, but we have Determined to Break Away Youth and Youth Following in Footsteps Youth. That's his name along with his title, it looks like. And then we have another Knight of Partings and Knight of Piercings along with the other copy of Skyfall Fury that could have potentially been foil. So all in all 3 decks are pretty awesome, with each one having a different playstyle, whether it be the United boosting that your Leonorn is supposed to do, the ability of Revel Dress that your Youth Burke does, or the minusing of your opponent's Vanguard to 1 power with Jejuled. All 3 are unique and interesting decks that we'll be seeing support in the upcoming sets for Cardfight Vanguard Overdress as well. So whatever deck you want to build, like I said, each one seems very, very powerful in its own way. So definitely look to which one fits the most for your playstyle. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.